Hi guys. All right, today I'm coming to you live from my basement. Yes, I am a complete teacher geek and I have a full size antique chalkboard in my basement. It's about 6 feet long, about 3 feet high. A friend of mine who's an art teacher, she actually picked up two of them at an old schoolhouse they were getting ready to demolish, and my husband thought I was crazy, but he entertained me and put a trim around it and hung it up on our wall, and it makes for some great Pictionary. And when the kids were little, they loved to play school, but today I'm going to try and feel a little normal, like I'm actually in class and teaching like I kind of normally would. But surrealism is what we've been talking about, and you guys have totally got it. I can tell by the artwork that you're submitting that you understand surrealism to a T, and I'm very impressed. I am going to have you do one more assignment though that's going to kind of lead into our next art history topic that we'll cover, but we're going to combine surrealism and self-portraits today, but not a normal self-portrait. So I don't want you thinking that you're going to draw a face like you normally do, give it some hair, eyes, nose, mouth. Not that kind of self-portrait. Not that at all. Nope. Instead, what you would normally draw for hair, eyes, nose, mouth, I want to be objects. So if I was going to start drawing an object self-portrait, I would probably make my head an artist palette. And so I would give the shape of my face the shape of an artist palette, and my eyes would definitely be some of the colors, probably have my mouth one of the holes or one of the paint colors, and then I would continue to add to it, and things that I would use for my hair and stuff would be other things that I'm interested in and like I love nature. I love going on beach hikes and nature walks, so this might end up being some like tree branches for my hair. And you get the idea. You can do full size portraits. So I'm talking full body, all with found object, or not found objects, but objects. And I have a lot of pictures to show you as some examples, some that are just done by average students and others that are done by famous artists like Picasso and Van Gogh and Frida Kahlo. So I do think that you'll have fun with this. Brainstorming will help, and I'll give you some tips at the end of the video as to what to think about and lists to make to come up with ideas of what objects you would use to create a self-portrait. But yeah, let's have some fun with this and see what you come up with. All right? All right. Okay, so this is an excellent example, totally detailed and obviously excellent drawing skills, but you can see that not only have they put objects in the background that are some of their favorite things, but they used objects to create their self-portrait as well. You can see pencils as arms and just a really great job of shading and objects. Just to clarify the definition a little bit, so an object self-portrait or an indirect self-portrait is a portrait of you without directly showing yourself. It can be a collection of objects that have special meaning to you and even some part of your image hidden amongst them. Some artists choose a part of themselves like their hands and feet. Frida Kahlo had made many self-portraits. This is one of her indirect self-portraits. She only chose to show her feet alongside this more personal imagery, and it's just as much a reflection of herself as the ones of her face. Van Gogh also did indirect and object self-portraits. He chose objects that were personal to him, things that he used every day, like his pipe and matches or letters. Writing letters was a huge part of his daily life, so that definitely was included in his object indirect self-portrait. It's also thought that Picasso dabbled in this. It seems like there's not an art form that Picasso did not try. And the skull over on the left-hand side of the page is thought to have been added to this as an indirect self-portrait from the still life that he painted. I know this is relatable to many people, my son included. I think if he had to do an object self-portrait, this would totally be items that you would find in his drawing. Obviously, this is very done very well, very technical, but gives you another idea of some objects that you could use in yours. Because I believe in your abilities and you're up for challenges, I gave you some examples here that are college and high school indirect self-portraits. They chose things that they wear like glasses and hats, as well as things that they use and like often like video games. They even put things in there from their childhood, which I think things from your childhood is a very important part. I had to give you an example that had a cell phone because let's face it, that's probably something that would end up in almost all of our object self-portraits. But I like the combination here of the little stuffed giraffe, a coffee cup, and a phone. It just seems very cozy and a good example. If you have the time, I'd like you to write a description of your object self-portrait. This is an example here that you can read of the description that the artist put for why they chose the items that they chose. And I think that tells a lot. I think people want to hear your story. So even if it's just a sentence or two, add that to the back of your drawing or on a separate sheet of paper. And finally, here are some questions I want you to ask yourself, a list that I want you to make to come up with ideas of what objects that you would use. They can be fun, serious, whimsical, things you wear, things you use every day, things that you would grab if you knew you were going to be stranded on a desert island. So make a list of these things and then get started with your drawing. All right, so I have been working on my surrealist self-portrait. I continued with the branches, willow branches for my hair because I love how willow trees are kind of wispy and blow with the wind. I added paintbrushes for my eyebrows, and inside my eyes, I put waves like from the beach. My nose is a cup of coffee because I'm frankly very addicted to coffee and it makes me very happy. So that has to be in there. My mouth is a paw print from my puppy because he makes us laugh and he is just joy. And then I started my body. The base of my body is a book. I love to read. Da Vinci Code is probably one of my favorite books of all time because I love suspense. And I also love suspense and books that include a little bit of art history in them. So that's a good compilation of all those in one book. Working on some ideas for my arms and legs, not done with it yet, but I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with, all right? Have fun with this, and I look forward to seeing those in my email, all right?